Annyeonghaseyo, hello from Seoul, South Korea. I am currently at Korea University and I am excited to be able to share how everything's been going. I am officially on week 3 in Seoul, South Korea, and 2 of those weeks being spent in quarantine due to COVID. And I will be able to get more into detail, so I hope you guys enjoy it. I'll be starting with the start of the trip, and after that head into a quick brief description of the repetitive quarantine, and then of course I'll show you how my first week in Seoul, South Korea outside actually went. So I'm excited to show you. I hope you guys enjoy. After a delayed flight in Los Angeles and then being sent to Seattle, Washington the next day, I was able to finally board the plane for South Korea. I can say I was feeling a mix of emotions, and these were based off of excitement, and I was also very nervous, but at the same time I was in disbelief that after a while I was actually finally going to South Korea. And I can say that I was so excited, I just continued to look out the window and I couldn't wait to see what waited for me. After having a 11-hour flight, we finally got to South Korea, and that's when the whole process started. I had to go through a temperature check and after that a quarantine check. I can say there wasn't a lot of people at the airport, and the process was pretty quick to actually go out. After going through the process and picking up luggage, I was able to finally go into the waiting area where I was awaited by Global Ends, who helped ISA to take us to the hotel where we would quarantine. ISA is the program that I decided to study abroad through, and they also helped put students in the same hotel that would also be studying at Korea University. Being in a hotel room for 14 days wasn't the best scenario. Of course, it did help to have a few things though. To start off, there was a wonderful view out the window. On my side, there was mostly buildings, but as an architecture major, I can say I really enjoyed being able to see these buildings. It also gave me something to look forward to once I got out of quarantine. In addition to that, there was also building a routine during these days. This kind of helped the time go by quickly. To start off, I would wake up around 7 each morning and would do some workouts, have breakfast, and by the time I was done with breakfast, I would have finished calling my family back home, and then lunch would have arrived. And after lunch, we usually did classes online through Zoom for KU. And after that, it'd usually be dinner, and after dinner, some free time. So having this routine constantly through 14 days certainly did help. The breakfast, lunch, and dinner that was mentioned, it was a bit of different types of food. For breakfast, it would usually revolve some bread, maybe some type of jelly or chocolates, and usually for lunch and dinner, something that would involve more protein, sometimes salad, and overall, I think that there was always something in the food that really tasted good. There was always one thing, or if not one thing, it was everything that tasted great. And it was the one time that we were allowed to open our door to grab the food. So as I'll show the video, this is how I would just go up to the door and creepily reach out to grab my food and then come back into my room and eat it all over again. And the day before we got out of quarantine, we were taken to take our last COVID test just to make sure that we were good to leave quarantine. After we were cleared to leave quarantine, the next day at lunchtime, we headed out. When we got to campus, we were all free to do what we wanted. What I started off with was walking around campus, seeing a few of the buildings, settling into my dorm, and seeing the beautiful view that we could see from our dorm balcony. And after that, I headed to Dongdaemun Design Plaza. Within the week, I headed to different areas, including Myeongdong, and I had some ramen and tteokbokki. I also headed to Insadong and had some tteokbokki and sundae, and got to see a small temple, and also got to see the nightlights in Insadong. In addition to that, I continued walking that night and ended up at a river, which was really nice. And the following days, I ended up going to Mapogu, went to a dog cafe, and even went to Seoul Tower. I think Seoul Tower was an amazing experience. You've seen it so many times in movies, but it does not compare at all being able to see it in person. It wasn't just about the views that were up the mountain, it was more also about the experience of actually being able to go up the tower. You're able to see all the locks that people have put, and in addition to that, they give you a whole experience when you're walking inside to get to the elevator to actually go up to the tower. The following day, I headed over to Gyeongbokgung Palace. I was able to rent a hanbok traditional Korean dress, and I wore it to the palace, even in extreme hot weather. I can say in Korea it is extremely hot and humid, but it was still an amazing time. I got to experience this, I got to see the different temple architectures, and overall, I just think that it was an amazing feeling so far. My first week has been amazing, and I can't wait to share a lot more